Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Third and Atlantic Studios. Your host, Joe. That's me. And some guy, Ed. How you doing, Ed?
There was a lot of energy in that intro. Gosh,
you know, we're coming up to it's an important week. It's an important week. You know, make sure to get all your good players off the COVID reserve list. Get all your starters ready. Hopefully, you know the teams you required that you need to lose are playing their backups. The teams that you need to win aren't playing their backups, but it seems like a lot of them are because they've already made it to the playoffs. But you know, you have to come into this weekend, especially with good vibes, because if you don't, there's no chance.
You had a lot of Weetabix this morning. No, I love it. I love it. As you said, it is the final regular season. Last time we see a lot of these teams for a very long time, including my beloved Jacksonville Jaguars. And yeah, I was just looking at some of the playoff hunts, and there's some really nice things going on. So we're going to talk about the playoffs coming up. But actually, let's quickly touch on a couple of things last week, because obviously you got the terrible towel in the background, and we know you're a Steelers fan.
Yes, sir.
Thoughts on your? I was going to call it. I'm not sure if you would disagree with this. Your best ever wide receiver. Thoughts on him?
I was going to argue that, but we've had some amazing wide receivers in our time. But you know, as of late, Antonio Brown was our best receiver. And as you said many a time, since that hit from Vontaze, he hasn't been the same. However, this time was a weird one because obviously information is still coming out and they're still battling. And like, let's not be silly. We know Antonio Brown comes out with a lot of information every time he does one of these things. And it kind of, people look at it as like, oh yeah, but it's like, you take what he's saying with a pinch of salt. Like, yes, he may have been done wrong. However, the way, professionally at least, the way you react is something. The way he reacts to slights, let's say, is very extreme. But like I said in my, little clip on our gram page,
Plug.
What if it's a little different? What if you just shift your focus a little bit? This can be a learning lesson for everyone, right? However, AB is going to do AB things in it. I don't see how another team picks him up when he has done this literally everywhere. To be fair, the Steelers, it sounds like the Steelers got off light. They did pay him a lot of money, but in terms of AB kickoffs after the fact or to get kicked out the franchise, we got off lightly.
Yeah, it feels a bit Urban Meyer-esque in terms of a list of things that are going on. The only impressive thing is that Urban Meyer's thing happened in a space of a year as a head coach, whereas AB's just happened across multiple teams. Straight weekend,
this one, what was it, preseason, let's say 2 weeks in the Patriots, and he's kicking off. The Steelers, however, had the longest, I guess. We at least had the final year in which he did the Facebook Live at the end of the season. Just in the postseason. Then we gave him still another year. We still paid him that off season. Then we had another whole year of him and then kicked him out. Whereas the rest, it seems to happen as he kicks off this weekend, maybe by at least by 3 weeks, he's out.
And he doesn't do himself any favors. But there's still people backing him. Of course, there would be on some of his decisions, but is what it is. Anything else you want to discuss from last week? Like, fucking hell, Bengals went on a madness.
Yes.
But
I watched that game. That game was a phenomenal game. Pats and Jags. I didn't watch that, but I wish I did.
I didn't.
50-3, something like that. 50-3.
There was a turnover every sort of possession, it felt. And you asked me a little bit about how offline about how the Jags were doing without Urban Meyer. I was like, well, again, not too well. Offense, I think, has been the biggest weakness. There are times when I felt our defense has done really, really well, but the offense has let us down. And even if you look at our wins, it was a 6-3 or 9-6 win against the Bills. That's defense. That's not offense. And again, our defense isn't particularly that good. The annoying thing is we've got number 1 or the number 1, 2 pick in the draft, and both of them are edge rushers. We drafted edge rushers in the first round, I think, in the past 2, maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
we drafted Josh Allen, and then we drafted Caleb Chason with our second pick of the Ramsey trade to LA. So if we're going to draft another edge rusher, that's 3 first round edge rushers we drafted, and we still got question marks on them. It's annoying. I mean, Josh Allen, okay, he might be a serviceable edge rusher. Caleb Chason was always going to be a project, and he's still growing. Bless Aiden Hutchinson or Caleb Thibodeau, whoever's going to have to come to the Jags. But yeah, anyway, that's just on that.
Yeah, I mean, that was a 40-point differential in that one, 50-10. So the defense weren't doing too great.
And it was 50-3. That touchdown we scored was a garbage time touchdown. But yeah, again, at the end it did also defense and start playing shit again. And yeah, there's a lot of holes and gaps to fill. But yeah. Anything else you want to mention from last week?
I think the Raiders and the Colts was the most impactful game.
They're both still in the hunt.
In terms of playoff standings and seedings for so many teams. So many teams involve either the Colts winning or losing, or like someone in that matchup. Obviously the Bengals, I think, clinched the AFC North with that win. The Chiefs were already in the playoffs, so although that was an upset, it wasn't like, in the grand scheme of things, it weren't too big. Raiders, Colts, everyone thought the Colts were going to win. I certainly did. But the Raiders, I guess, kept it alive for the Steelers.
They have these moments. Raiders just have these games where they pull it out their ass.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. 49ers, don't know what they're doing. Chargers, they still need to play themselves in, which I thought by like week 10 they were already in. So that's that. The Saints are somehow still in themselves. And that's about that. The Cardinals did lose to the Cowboys, but you know what, it is what it is. The Vikings were unfortunate in having their backup kind of forced into a playoff eliminator game. It just so happened to be by the number 1 seed themselves. So the Packers were going to seal the number 1 seed with that win. And so that's not unfortunate timing for them, kind of COVID-wise, even though people are saying that having Kirk Cousins there wouldn't have made that big a difference. But you at least want the option to lose with your best guys instead of, you know, them getting taken out by a virus. But it is what it is. In terms of, like I said, in terms of actual, like, outward kind of playoff situations, that Colts-Raiders games did a lot for a lot of people.
And speaking of the playoffs, let's look at some of our playoff predictions coming into the season. So first year where we have 7 teams in the playoffs. My 4 divisional winners in the AFC were KC, Bills, Titans, Browns. Obviously, one of them is wrong. You had exactly the same top 3. However, you had Ravens ahead of the Browns. Ravens still in the hunt. And then my 3 wildcard teams. Oh, actually, sorry. I think have New England confirmed that they've won the division, or is it Bills?
New England?
No.
Yeah, I think who?
They've got they got the same record, but I think Bills are ahead. So yeah. It's likely Bills winning that division. And then my 3 wildcard teams were Chargers, Patriots, and Ravens. Now, Patriots have made it. Chargers are currently in position, but
they just need to win. That's all they need to do. They need no one else. They just need to win. Now, this is the problem.
And the Ravens have a very, very slim chance. But yeah, those were my 2. Your 3 wildcards. So you had the Ravens winning the AFC North. So they're still in the hunt. But you also had the Colts, Browns, and the Steelers.
Yeah.
So there's definitely no Browns, as we discussed, but your Colts could also make it in. So Colts and Steelers, you got 3 teams.
The Colts, Steelers, and Ravens, right?
Yeah.
All 3 of them cannot make it in.
Exactly.
All of them need the other one to lose.
2 of them could make it in.
Well, no, they can't. The Ravens need the Colts to lose. The Steelers need the Colts to lose. The Colts need to win.
Oh gosh! Oh damn! Oh,
and then obviously the Ravens and Steelers are playing against each other, so there's no way of all 3 of them making it in. Only one of them can make it in. All 3 of them can't. There's a chance that all 3 of them won't make it in as well. So there's that.
So AFC was a bit wonky for you. I've reached over 50% because I've got KC, Bills, Titans, Patriots. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And I've got another one to come in. And then NFC, I got all 4 of the division winners. I got Rams, Bucks, Packers, Cowboys. You had Washington ahead of the Cowboys.
Yikes.
And then 3 wild card, I had San Francisco, New Orleans, and Seahawks. So one of either San Francisco and New Orleans are going to make it. The other one isn't going to make it. And then Seahawks just flamed out.
Yeah.
You had your 3 wild cards. You had the Cardinals, which is fair shout, pretty good shout that they. Yeah. And then you had Seahawks as well.
I won't take that. No, I won't take that.
And you definitely won't take the last one. The Bears.
You see, when I told you, when we were doing these things, it's like it sets you up to look like such an idiot. Like after, to be fair, we do this knowing that the next week, literally the next week, all your picks can be rendered invalid by how they play. If we picked Packers at the beginning, which we did, after that first week, it looked terrible. But once again, after that, like stuff like. You just hope that teams are able to build upon what they did the previous year. When you pluck out, your long shots, you're saying, I've seen something. But then what happens is every other coach that is playing them or scout sees that same thing. So they spend the rest of the year trying to snuff it out. You're hoping that they're able to build. 49ers weren't, but were. Like they took a step back, but are still in the hunt. The Washington were in the hunt. Now they've taken a huge step back. The Seahawks just took a nosedive. The Colts looked up and down. The Chargers took a step back and looked. So it's one of those things.
That's what happens every year. So it's whatever. Like teams look good, teams look bad. Colts was the one I was a bit. At the start of the year, I was like, no, I just don't see it. And then a more I watched, I was like, actually, you know what? They can actually be a lot more dangerous. And that was one that I automatically had regrets about, and that they should have been able to sneak in. For me personally, Ravens, I'm not mad at that prediction because they just had so they've got the most cap space that is currently on the injury reserve list.
What has Go on.
And then I was just say Browns, they just disappointed.
Browns, Baker. That's what it is. Let's not lie.
And then from the NFC side, personally, I felt good with that. Seahawks, again, as you said, they just had a very mess season with Russell Wilson also being out for a little while. Mm-hmm. Although when Geno Smith did play, he did beat the Jags up. And Saints, that James Winston injury killed them.
Funny to say that, though. I say that because Taysom Hill was meant to be their, savior a while ago.
Oh, yeah, of course he was, yeah. So, quick overview of the playoffs. There are 2 places left to secure in the AFC. Currently, Colts and Chargers are in position. However, Raiders, Steelers, and Ravens are just looking over. They're like, what are you man saying? Yeah, what you man up to? And then in the NFC, either the 49ers or the Saints will make the playoffs. So it's between them 2.
It's a good place to be in the NFC right now. You at least know if you're on holiday or if you're, staying. For the most part, the AFC. This is where people start wilding out in locker rooms after the games because they had their hopes up. It's when you'll see some pictures of teams staying out on the field to watch the screen, hoping that a score will come up.
Yeah, I love those.
And all them kind of ones. This is that week, and this is a very exciting week for that. When if your team is in it and actually makes it, you can appreciate it. If it's not, it ruins your whole month, let's say, for the Super Bowl. But we look forward to this week. Let's get the scores going. Yeah, so we jump in. I'm going to go first, right? Because I'm going to go out there. I know you're going to pick them, but I'm going to pick them first because the actual score of this week don't matter. But I'm putting my faith out there, letting it be known. The Steelers win this week, send Big Ben to his last playoff. They got an emotional win last week, and they're going to do it again this week. Send them home. Steelers over the Ravens.
Find that matchup. Where is it? There it is.
I want to make it very clear. Steelers win the emotional battle twice in a row. This is definitely Big Ben's last game. 100%.
They're not making the playoffs.
It's definitely his last game as a Steeler if they do not make the playoff. A regular season game, no. It's his last regular season game. So this is it. There's no way he should be the Steelers starting quarterback next year. That's what I'm saying. And they've been coming together slowly.
How are you going to welcome How are you going to welcome Baker when he comes to the Steelers as the Steelers' new QB1?
Aaron Rodgers is going to be great in our uniform. I still
Baker
believe.
Mayfield. Sorry, I'm not sure if
I still believe if we make it to the playoffs, I still
Mayfield,
believe if we
Baker
make it to the
Mayfield,
playoffs, I still believe we
Baker
keep
Mayfield.
it. We almost played ourselves out of Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to lie, but if we make it to the playoffs, I think we sneak in the back door. We just need them to mess up. We need, was it Gunther? That's their GM.
Brian Gunther.
We need him to mess up just one more time. Just one more. I promise you, we're getting Aaron Rodgers.
Colts at Jacksonville next. I don't talk about it.
What, you're taking Jags?
Colts at Jacksonville.
I obviously want this matchup. I do I believe it? No. But I need this to come true and I need the Jags to win. That's the only way into the playoffs for me. So as stupid as it sounds, I was going to pick it.
It's going to be one of those where, like, if Jacksonville do win, everyone's going to be donating money to if Trevor Lawrence has got a charity somewhere.
Yeah. I know it kind of, it ruins my whole football IQ credibility by picking the Jags, but I was going to because I have to for the Steelers to make the playoffs. And that's my disclaimer. I have to.
Well, you have the Jags anyway. Yeah, you happy about that?
Yeah, so with that, I'm going to pick the number 1 seed Packers against the Lions. I still don't think they give the Lions, if they get 3 wins, they mess up, right? Like a lot. Like they does this win actually give the Jags the first overall pick?
There's 2 teams. We already have the number 1 pick already at the moment.
What? So you've got the number 1 right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So if they win it, it doesn't negate anything.
I mean, we're guaranteed a top 2 pick.
Okay.
I think if we win and then Lions lose, then we might have the 2nd pick, I believe. But it's one of the 2 edge rushers either way.
No, because just because the edge rushers are graded to be number 1 and 2 doesn't mean that they have to get picked, because it's based on team need, isn't it? That's how Baker got to be QB1.
I do get what you're saying, but everything from what I've read, because I ain't watching every single fucking college football game. Every single thing I read is that it's going to be 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Like everyone mentions.
But are those people? Them draft predictors at that point, or they weren't taking into account team need?
No, they are. Of course they are.
You need more than edge rushers.
Yeah, I mean, we need a lot more, but the thing with the draft,
you need
have 1 pick.
Yeah, but you don't need edge rushers like that.
But that's again, I don't watch college football like that. That is what every single person who knows more than me has been saying. So
I'd say O-line over everything. But
I mean, Evan Neal, I think Evan Neal was the guy on Alabama. He's the one who I've seen in the top 5. The left tackle for Bama. That's the one I've been seeing going in the top 5. But if you've got the number 1 pick, they're going to pick the best player available. There's a saying: if you're picking number 1, you have a lot of needs, so just fucking pick the best player. But I get team need is also another thing.
That's very true. Very true. Your pick.
I'm not even thinking about this too much. Let's go Jets against the Bills.
Jets against the Bills?
Sorry. Yeah, Jets against the Bills. I'm taking the Bills.
No, I'll have that because that's just rude for me to take. But yes, it's Bills. You take the Bills. No argument there. The question would be, once again, teams sitting out.
Yeah, definitely.
Who is sitting out who, what is doing what. So with that, I'm going to take the Bucks at the Panthers. I think bounce back. They're going to try and quiet the noise. They might have rested some people this week if they weren't in a lot of controversy. So now they have to kind of win to kind of smooth it all over before the playoffs and try and get everyone back on track.
Are you worried about the Bucks going into the playoffs?
No, actually, I'm really not.
Okay.
But I'm not in terms of actual playing wise. I am maybe in terms of mentals, because this is not the greatest time to be having controversy and like pointing the fingers. But I don't really think they really do have controversy. I think it's more of an outside thing. But they'll need to show solidarity and win.
Fair.
Get the momentum back, I should say. I'll keep the momentum flowing.
I'm going to take New England against Miami.
Yep. Miami aren't playing for a place in, or are they're not in?
No, they are out 8-8.
Yeah.
They're an okay season, but 8-8, it means they're out of the playoffs, especially in the AFC.
AFC, yeah.
Because I mean, like right now, Raiders are 9-7, and they're on the bubble. So
yeah, it's what it is. Like, but then Pats can sit people down because they're in. But
yeah,
that's not really their style, but they could
exactly. I don't think it'll be a Pats thing to do.
Fair enough. I'm taking the Cardinals at the Seahawks. This actually is a bad pick because the Cardinals they don't get anything out of a win, if I'm not mistaken.
They have been on a very bad run recently. They need some wins. They
need to course correct before the playoffs when every game actually could be the last game.
Another team that's already quite can they still potentially see if they can still potentially clinch a number 1 seed? Yeah, they could actually. They could still clinch a number 1 seed. I'm taking the Chiefs against who do they have? Broncos.
Yeah. I'm annoyed that I've let that slip so far. I forgot about that because they're not a exciting team for this week. But yeah, in all accounts, they should win this. It could be a sit down game as well because although they've been fighting for first seed, this would be 3 years in a row. No?
Oh, feels longer than that.
Yeah,
feels like
3 years in a row.
It probably is 3.
Because it'll be. Yes. I think they got the first time was when they won it. The second time they lost.
They last year the Super Bowl. Year before that they won. The year before that it was a Tom Brady game with the full start.
So 3 full years of number 1. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I think they may not. Although a first week bye is great and they would ease up, they might not risk injury because they were hit by a few injuries earlier.
I think they won that number 1 seed.
Yeah,
I think they won it.
Fair enough. In that case, I'm going to go with the opposite. I'm going to go with the Titans win at the Texans.
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't. Yeah. I was hoping I wouldn't make a big deal about it so you wouldn't notice, but yeah.
No, that's what I was going to go. I forgot about that Chiefs completely. I was going to say the Titans keep, winning to try and keep momentum, but they're a team that had a load of injuries this whole year, a load of COVID people. They've had the most starting players this year. So yeah, they keep it going.
Another team that needs a win. There's 2 of them that I really want. Let's go for. I'm going to go for this one. Saints against the Falcons.
Are you just going to pick every team that needs to wins?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Falcons can ruin a lot of.
Exactly. As I said, they can be party
poopers.
This one. Yeah, they can be party poopers.
I think that is if you're not in the playoffs, that's where you want to be. You want to be in a match in the final week that it means something to the other team. Like you want to be those guys. Like if we're having a miserable time, so are you.
Yeah. Especially, I love the fact that last week is all the divisional matchups.
Yeah. That was fair play by the NFL. Yeah, fair play. They planned this out. With that being said,
you're going to take another divisional matchup?
No, this one, I don't know who to pick, but I know I need to pick one of these teams. So I'm going to pick the bad boys and I'm going to pick the Raiders. I'm going to pick the Raiders. Hopefully this match still means something by the time they play it. Because if Colts lose, these two just have to tie. They can kneel it out. But they're not going to, but they can do.
They should play the first 3.5 quarters. Then, they play 3.5 quarters. But then, if I know the Raiders up by 3 touchdowns, obviously let them score 3 touchdowns. But that's what I think. So you have integrity for well, it wouldn't be 3 quarters because it'll be more than that. 3.5. No, I'm doing way too much there. 70% of the game, 75% of the game. No, fucking hell. 85% of the game.
I don't know.
Fine.
Do you want to risk injury? I understand them saying they don't know if the other team is going to do such thing. But I'm telling you, if I'm in a position which one of us have to lose, I'm walking into the middle of the field in the warm-ups as the head coach. I'm saying, yo, big man, listen here. I understand. But if we kneel it out, all of us, all the time, We are coming out of here, both in the playoffs. We've both got a live next week, and we're da-da-da. However,
how pissed would you be as a Steelers fan? Oh my day.
Nah, because by then it's already too late. Because the Colts would have. Well, the Colts. Oh,
exactly.
Oh,
you're the team that's missing out.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Me as a Steelers fan, how would I feel? I have to respect it, man. I have to say, the league has to step in here. Like during the match, I'm calling the league office. I'm like, hold on. This is match fixing. You have to step in. You can't allow this. But at the end of the day, I have to respect it.
You know that guy, that uncle who's on the phone with his brick and his. You know that meme. Yeah.
Roger Goodell. I have to respect it, but I'm calling the league at least one time to say is it match fixing and did both teams get kicked out the playoffs?
Yeah. Right. My sixth pick, I am gonna take Bengals against the Browns. I'm not sure if Bengals could potentially sneak in number 1 seed. They're only one win behind Chiefs and Titans, but I'm not sure strength schedule and all that stuff, how it goes in. But I'm gonna take the Bengals against Browns.
Oops, I wrote that wrong. I was actually gonna do the opposite. I'm thinking, Baker hasn't shut it down yet, has he?
No, not that I'm aware of. No,
he's playing for a contract this week. This literal week is him actually playing for a contract.
Did you hear that random report? How how he potentially requested a trade, and then Baker's like, no, I didn't. Like, you lot just stirring shit. When I initially saw that requested a trade, you know what it reminds me of? Like, if you're in a relationship and you know it's going to break up, but then like you have a feeling they're going to break up with you first, so you try to get in beforehand. I think that's what he's trying to do. I think he knows like he ain't gonna get shit from Bryce. Like, no, I don't want to be on the team anyway, so I'm just going to leave ahead. Like, I'm like, mate, shut up. Like they went on that, like whatever. But anyway, that's just what I thought when I saw that.
I'm gonna take the party poopers Rams at the 49ers. Or versus the 49ers even. I'm going to take the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams. Oh.
Yeah, they obviously don't have anything to play for. However, it's a momentum thing. Do we want momentum? I think they may sit down Stafford, but he's not the sit down kind of player. But they may sit him out, but just because of injuries and the beefing and all that nonsense.
Just thinking, did I see a notification earlier today that earlier on this week where Bengals said they're going to arrest Joe Burrow? Am I tripping? I think I saw that.
There was a lot of talk around it though, because he did come up a bit injured in the end of the last matchup. They secured.
I'm trying to remember what was fact and what was fiction. But anyway, last 3 picks left. My penultimate pick, I am going to take. Well, there's two matchups where it's got no playoff implications. Washington Giants, and then Bears Vikings. All 4 of them are out. And then we've got Cowboys, Eagles, who are both in. Cowboys, they've clinched the division. Eagles have clinched the playoff spot, so it's a bit like meh.
They might just kneel it out as well.
For Cowboys, it's whether they want the 5th seed or the 4th seed. 4th seed. Oh, no. Oh, that doesn't matter. No, because they're division winner, they will automatically get 4th seed.
Yeah, kneel it out.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
Kneel it out.
In that case, I might take who. Let me take who's at home. You know what? Let me take the Eagles. They're on a bit of a hot streak. Let's go for the Eagles.
Has Trayvon Diggs got the interception record, isn't it, for rookies? Not rookies, single season interception record, or is he tied? Is he still tied?
I stopped caring about it. It's like, mate, you're getting penal. Like, okay, I know that's now become the narrative. Like, oh my god, he just gets burnt every time. Like, but that's I think when we had our run to the AFC Championship game, our best corner was Jalen, but Bouye got like twice the amount of interceptions. That's because people kept throwing him because they weren't going to throw at Jalen. Doesn't mean that he was better, but yeah, I mean, he's got amazing ball skills, but he does bite so much.
Then that's the thing. That's allowed him to get close to that record, because teams are not going to stop throwing at him, because he will give you one. He will give you a few over the top. So he's to keep doing that, and then you'll keep throwing to my side. So I can keep catching some. Don't worry, I'll give you some yards. Okay, I'll catch some more. I'll give you some yards. Let me catch one more. I'll give you some more yards.
again, one of my favorite
yeah.
sequences in the whole season. It's not that it was like an amazing play or anything. Was Patriots Cowboys, where Mac Jones did throw the interception, and then after that very first play, he went straight back to Diggs again, and I think they scored a touchdown on the next play, which I love the fact that like the confidence for Mac Jones, and two, just Trayvon Diggs' season as a season.
Yeah.
Two more games that discuss what they were. Who are you taking?
Yeah.
Which of these?
I'm taking Washington because they are out of their trash stadium. They did their best to injure Jalen Hurts. It didn't.
And last time, hopefully, we have to say Washington football team.
I mean, I don't think the actual. Have you seen their announcement? They changed all their socials to 2-2-2-2-2. The announcement is coming on the 2nd of February.
They really tried to go for it. They're like, oh my God, this is like the best opportunity to do this.
I like, they printed out T-shirts. They had their all-star players wearing jumpers with 2nd of February 22 on it. I'm so pissed off.
Does 2 mean anything to Washington as a franchise? It doesn't mean anything to them.
Nothing at all.
Unless they're going to be called the Washington Twos, 2-2s now. That all right, cool. But I doubt that's the name they're going to go for.
They're going to find a way to mess up this selection. I just feel like they're going to pick the worst name ever. And it's like watching the football team at this point, it just become comfortable. Like people got over the initial shock, and it sounds all right because it sounds like a football team. It sounds like a football team.
I hate saying like you use like Bengals, Bills, Panthers, football team. Come on. Like at least they should have a nickname. Like you can refer to them as.
They'll change Dallas FC, man. They'll start changing the names.
No, well, leave that to football, innit? But even football, they got nicknames.
What's yours? Jacksonville FC. Come on now. Jacksonville FT. Think about it now. Everyone changed their name to football team.
Let me think about it. I thought about it. No.
Jacksonville football team. That makes sense.
No, but you have to have like Chelsea are the Blues. Like you just say, oh, Blues or whatever.
Yeah, you have a nickname, but you don't have to be your team's official.
That's what I'm saying. What's Washington's nickname?
That's what they're unveiling right now. They're keeping Washington football team, but they'll be called the Capitals. Something. I don't know.
They've already got that.
That's their fans. The Capitals.
Bears, Vikings. I don't care. The rules with Vikings, that favorite, don't take them. But it's against the Bears. This could be Matt Nagy's last game. This could be Mike Zimmer's last head coaching gaff at Minnesota.
Oh,
yeah? I'm taking Vikings.
I just didn't care who got this. Fields is... Did they shut Fields down? They shut Fields down, innit? A couple...
No, I don't see why they would.
Because he was injured last... He was injured last match. Yeah, he was injured last match. So why bring him back if they're not going to do it for anything?
There are final regular season picks. I mean, again, you already won the regular season, so you've got the number 1 pick going into the playoffs.
That's what it's all about.
You thought about who you're taking?
Yeah, I'm taking the first seeds.
Okay. So it's probably going to be either Packers or Titans/Chiefs.
Yeah, I might just take the Packers and Chiefs and see where it goes from here.
Whoa. Taking Packers and Chiefs, you got one number 1 pick. When did you get 2? It's a free-for-all.
It'll come back to me, don't worry.
I mean,
you've mentioned 3 teams there. It'll come back to me.
I'm taking the other one, just so you know. Like Packers, Chiefs, I'm taking the other one. There's a quick FYI. So
you're not taking the Titans if they're number 1?
No.
Oh, that's rude.
Why?
That's rude. They worked all that season through all this adversity to be number 1. Derrick Henry is back, and you're not even going to pick them if they're number 1.
I'm considering them, but I still rather have the Chiefs. I'm sorry. 100%. I'm with you. I think the Titans are probably the second best team in the AFC, but I wouldn't be mad if the Chiefs lost it for me.
Okay, fair enough. Aaron Rodgers rides out into the sunset, and then becomes.
I'm just thinking who the 4th pick will be.
All the way to Heinz Field.
Would it be the Rams? Would it be the Bucks? Would it be the Bills? Would it be the Cowboys?
So many names to throw in there.
Who would the number 4 pick be? Because I remember, your second pick won you the one last year when you picked the Bucks.
So if you remember correctly, right, that super wildcard weekend almost killed me. Like there was a
I was doing really well then.
You became heavily favourite straight after that weekend. Boom. And then slowly but surely it creeped up into 3-1 in the championship conference games. In the conference games. In the conference games. And then that's how it happened. And then coming into Super Bowl, I would have won either way.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Both your teams, your teams.
But however, that first week in which the half the team get cut out, that was brutal for me.
Yeah.
Like it got very scary.
I had quantity, but no quality. I had quantity, but no quality.
That's what it's about, though. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is... No, you do it. I'm not doing it.
Right. So those are the final... As we mentioned, those are final Week 18 picks, final regular season picks of the year. First ever Week 18 that we've had.
Historic.
Ever. Historic week. And then we've got playoffs coming up. Best time of the NFL season. It's playoffs time, baby. And we've got Super Wildcard weekend with some Nickelodeon action sprinkled or gooed on top. But right, I'll check back with you next week.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.